Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone out there in the YouTube sphere, the Apple Podcast sphere, and the Spotify sphere, and the great beyond. Welcome to Internet Uncapped here. This is episode Evan. What episode is it?
I think we're on probably at this point 11.
Okay, remember it's your job. Anyways,
I know.
but
I'm aware. Yes.
this is episode 11. We actually we were going to at the time that we are recording this, we were going to do an episode about Cyrax, and we were going to be testing for something else that we're not going to discuss. We're not going to give any.
Oh
We're
yeah.
not going to leak anything. So that we were going to work on, but we were
Yes.
going to work on two things. But then this bombshell dropped, and I knew this was going to drop, but I thought depending on what it was like, we'll see what happens. I watched it and I sent a video and I sent the video to you, Evan. I was like, we got to get this. We gotta, that stuff's got to be put on hold. This is important.
Yep.
And
No, it's a big one for sure. So
yeah.
we gotta cover it. It's a
So
big one.
just for I think we should talk about the context here. So what we are talking about is the second content nuke. That's what Ethan Klein is referring to it as. Is the second content nuke on the Hassan Piker and his orbit, for lack of a better term. Evan, I first things first. I know you're not a H3 fan. I know that you are actually
As you
a
can see.
yep,
Yes.
right there in the bottom. I know that you are actually a you're actually a Hassan fan. Me,
Well, not quite. I was for a bit, but now I
yeah.
realize he's actually getting really bad and problematic. So it's not quite,
Okay,
but you know.
I've okay. So and just to be clear on my feelings, I've never been a fan. I've always just thought he was. I've always thought he was problematic. I didn't like his verbiage.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way that he approached things. I've always felt like he was a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I thought he was someone that always said it was rules good for thee, but not for me. I just not never been a fan. I always thought he was just corny and cringy. His lifestyle, the way that he lives, like he's bragging about going to brothels and stuff like that. I just think that shit's lame.
Yeah.
If you enjoy that stuff, cool. But to go ahead and to try to act like it's the coolest thing ever, I don't think it is. And again, I just think that just the way that he interacts with people and the way that he just uses people and the way that he just abuses smaller content creators, I've never been a really big fan of that. And
Yeah.
that's where I stand with Hassan. And I think he also just has a really freakishly small head, and he looks like he belongs in pictures. That's just a side note. Um,
Yeah.
and so that's where we stand on the matter between Hassan and Ethan. Uh, Now, I think we should dive into Ethan and Hassan. So Hassan, political streamer, a leftist political streamer, as he is known by, and that's what he's referred to on many uh, publications. That's how they always refer to him, a leftist gamer streamer. That's how they call him a gamer, even though he doesn't really play games anymore. But that is how they refer to him. Ethan Klein, he's also a leftist, and they had a show called The Leftovers. And
Hmm.
when they went ahead and they did that show, it was more so to go ahead and make fun of the right and make fun of just right leaning content creators and people that lean to the right. And that's what the show was all about. They had a falling out, and when they did have a falling out, it got ugly. It got ugly, and
It did.
Hassan
Yes.
became more, for lack of a better term, bloodthirsty, and he started saying more and more outlandish things that just really pushed Ethan away, and it really put a target on Ethan's back. Where a lot of the people that orbit Hassan and that have a lot of the radical thoughts that he has, they began to express those towards Ethan. And in recent memory, or in recent times, Ethan released a content nuke. Now, when the content nuke came out, it was pointing out a lot of the hypocrisies in Hassan, while also going ahead. And Ethan did, in the very beginning, did show some of his hypocrisies as well, and I'll give him credit for that. He showed one clip about him saying, "Oh, why don't they just go in there and go shoot?" And it was very graphic about what he said. I don't want to repeat it, but if you watch the content nuke, it is in there. So
Hmm.
Ethan does own up to some of his mistakes, which again, I give credit where credit is due. If Hassan says something that's right, I give credit where credit is due. If Ethan says something that's right, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I don't lean one way or the other. I am very much in the middle. I'm an independent, whatever the terminology is now. I don't lean to the left or to the right for full disclosure. We don't talk politics here. We don't do that.
No, we know.
We try to keep things within the YouTube sphere, but that's as far as we go with that stuff.
Of course.
But again, with Ethan, you made the content new, pointing out a bunch of the hypocrisies Hassan, whether it's his lifestyle, some of the things that he's done to break the terms of service of Twitch, which he has not been held to a certain standard compared to others on that platform. And those are a lot of the things that Ethan pointed out in his video, which I agree with. And Hassan has broken numerous rules, and in recent memory where he's going out in public during riots and protests in LA, showing some stuff that he's not supposed to show, he still has not been banned or suspended or anything of the sort. And it's absolutely egregious. And I don't like it. I think it's dumb. I think if you have rules implemented, it's for everyone. And just to make it clear too, Twitch is not the only one that does this. Every platform does this. I mean,
right.
Kanye did what? Kanye did who? Kanye did how? And
Kanye.
And Kanye said, and we all went, wow. And after bars.
That's right.
And he still has an Instagram, and he still has a Twitter.
And he says a lot of shit on his Twitter, I'll tell you that much. We will not go into that mess, but good Lord.
But yeah, I mean, so you see those things, and again, I just think that I'm always been the one that the rules are not just good for thee, they're also good for me. With that being said, when I sent you this video, I listened to it and I was just like, wow, you feel opposite of what I feel. And I think it's only right that we go ahead and we break this down. But anything you want to throw in there, Evan, for everything that I said? I kind of went on for a little bit.
Yeah. No, and I respect, of course, your position and your perspective about it. It is very interesting and valid. I will say this, however. Oh, okay. Well, so while the video is up, I will say this. My perspective about this is that Ethan has had a very, very long history of not having his bearings straight. And what I mean by that is he will get himself into a lot of trouble for various different reasons. He will also, I don't know, I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to accuse someone of being something or certain something. There's a lot of baggage with him, right? But in the context of what's going on right now, he has been on a tear because of the breakup between him and Hassan, and he has been talking about Hassan for multiple days in the week, especially on Instagram, and just saying how horrible he is and all this other crap. And quite frankly, I do not believe that Ethan is a very mentally well individual. I never thought of him as a very mentally well individual, but again, he'll lash out and he'll talk about people constantly for multiple shows. And really, his producers in particular, all they do is baby him all the time. I won't elaborate too much on that part. I just feel like, and then obviously his political views are relatively problematic. I personally wouldn't label him as a leftist. I would probably more label him as kind of, left-leaning, but still some conservative, perspectives that I personally don't agree with necessarily. And I'm an independent too, but I'm a little different than Mitchell. But I am absolutely not left or right or anything like that. But I am a little different than Mitchell in that respect. So, I just, we'll get into it. We are really going to get into this, but I actually have a different perspective on the video itself. And, that's all I'll really say, but this is going to be a very interesting episode to say the least.
Okay. So again, we're gonna jump right into it. Again, this is H3
Yeah.
H3. I'm suing these three creators, and we will obviously leave the link of this video in the description. And we're gonna properly react to it. Ethan goes ahead and he does this one monologue talking about it. We'll get to it when we get to it. So we're gonna do the proper rules. Which again, I respect him for bringing this up because I think it is just absolutely trash that some of these guys do some of this nonsense. But without further ado, let's jump into it.
Hi there, my name is Ethan Klein, and my favorite hobby is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers. Today I invite you into my home to share my favorite pastime with you.
I gotta say, I'm happy that he's gotten like so fit and so well. I would say that about anyone. He's gotten so much
That's
better,
true.
and we have to stop every so often. So this is kind of like a little bit of filler. Um,
Yeah. Well, that's
I've
actually the whole point of why we're doing this video is because of how you actually like comment on this stuff.
Exactly. That's what this is about. And I
Yeah.
will say, I wish he would do more of this edited content because I think this is when he's at his best. I know he likes doing the podcast because it's safe in the sense that he knows what he's going to bring in, and he's a family man now, and I get that stuff. But I think there's still a huge chunk of his fans that are just like, "Fuck you, Ethan." Like,
Well, yeah, and we're gonna get into that too, I'm sure. But you're
mhm,
right. You're
yeah.
right for sure.
Join me in creating generational wealth for my attorney. Let me tell you guys a story. About a year and a half ago, it's a big conversation called ReactGate. React.
And I remember watching this whole video. And XQC, I'm not a fan. I'm gonna make it
Nope,
very
me
clear.
neither. So we can
Uh,
agree on that much so far.
yeah, I
He's
think
annoying as hell. He's just like, oh, geez, oh, guys, oh, I'm gonna do, oh, it's just like, shut up, please. Oh, God, I'm done. I'm done. Goodbye.
yeah, he's so hyperactive.
Ugh.
One, and then two, it's also just like just his mannerisms. When Ethan was trying to ask him some legitimate questions about stuff, he was just like, yeah, like you, and he's like, oh, what if I do this in the fucking background? He starts acting like a slug, which they're gonna show here in a second. And then he started
Yeah.
flaunting chains, and it's like, cool, you have a lot of money to buy jewelry. No one gives a fuck. Like it made no sense to me. I thought it was just downright dumb, and he looked like an idiot in the end. Um, yeah, again, not a big fan of XQC. I love
Me neither.
Asmongold though. Asmongold's the man. I
I
respect
don't
him.
like Asmongold, quite
You,
frankly, but that's okay.
you don't like Asmongold? I mean, okay.
Nope.
I'll say. Let me say this. I like him because I think he's down to earth, and I think he says what's on his mind. I don't think he sugarcoats
No.
things. I think he's open and honest. And there's a lot of people nowadays where they won't be open and honest about how they feel. They're gonna lie to you, and they're gonna say what the politically correct thing is. I don't think he does
Yeah.
that. I think he tells you how he feels, and I give him credit for that. His living situation, I've seen how dirty he is. I don't like him for that. I can't do that. I'm a very clean person. I've seen that. I can't do that. Yeah, it's nasty. Just come on, man. Get
My
some
thing is that
Lysol wipes.
he is annoying in a similar but very different way than XQC is, and he'll do this weird thing where he'll like make something seem kind of profound, and like he'll be like, oh my God, this is like I don't even know what we're doing. I don't know what's going on here. Oh,
When
he'll
he's
do
playing
that
games.
kind of thing, and it's just like that's not commentary. That's not even like reacting. It's just making noises because you can, or making something like super whatever or heightened. And it's like, and also I don't like his takes in general, but aside from the takes, it's his delivery and the fact that he just he'll talk about nothing. He talks about nothing a lot of the time. And he used to be actually a gamer, believe it or not, Asmongold. And then
Yeah.
he got into like political commentary and all this stuff. And he says nothing of any inherent value, in my opinion.
Well, most of the time, like from what I've seen in recent memory, it's a lot of it's just responding to Hassan, because Hassan does come out and say a lot of outlandish things about him. Like
Yeah.
Hassan was saying that like he supports Israel, which Asmongold's never come out and said that. That was one thing, and then he was refuting that, and then Hassan also said, "Get the fuck out of my country if you don't like it." And then he was like, what the fuck? Like, so I mean, a lot of it's just refuting what Hassan says to him, and I think he spends a big chunk of that. But he lives.
I've seen plenty of other streams though, so it's not just about Hassan in my view. I've seen other stuff, and I just don't like his takes, quite frankly. But fair point to what you say. Yeah.
Backgate was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use. People like Hassan, XQC, and many of the large Twitch streamers would watch other creators' entire video on their stream. They would rarely add sufficient commentary or even pause the video to speak. Most egregious.
God, his head's so fucking small.
His hair makes up for his head, I would imagine.
Honestly, sometimes I think this background photo is life size.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I want to just say one other thing really quickly too, just about Hassan. Like, don't get me wrong, I know a lot about Hassan, and especially when he worked for his uncle, Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur is a whole other can of worms. If you think Hassan is bad, Cenk is worse. But also he's gotten in trouble, especially when he started early stream. I actually started watching him when he was doing his streaming, and I knew about him before even that. But he actually called a congressman the C word. And he's also just said a bunch of other outlandish stuff. So, like, don't get me wrong. I know plenty about Hassan, but I was watching him for a bit. And then when things got worse, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to check out because I can't endorse this. So, you know, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know the shit about Hassan. I know the troubles about him, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things like I forgot who the person was, but he posted a photo of a homemade gun, and he tweeted it at a congressman or a senator or something, a political figure. Like, and stuff like that.
Like I said, not good at all, and not justifiable whatsoever. I just can't. You know.
And when he does stuff like that, you know, that's where it becomes super hard, like you noted, to defend him. And that's why I said to you, I said this, I don't know if I said this on a show, but I know I said this to you. I said, because of him, all these social media sites, YouTube included, the government at some point, like if something was to happen and then the guy goes ahead and says, oh, I watched this on Piker's stream. Oh, dude, Twitch is screwed.
Yeah, thankfully that hasn't happened. And you know, these far left groups, they aren't actually quick little thing. They actually aren't influenced in the same way that the right is. The left is very fragmented, especially the far left. So a lot of it is very individual motivations more than group motivations. So that, thank goodness that nobody has come out and say, oh, I was radicalized by Hassan. But there are plenty of other examples on the other side. But I won't get into that too much. But I'm just saying that's the dynamic of how that goes a lot of the time.
He did say when he went to those riots and protests in LA, he said, oh, most of my fans are here.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything violent. They were protesters. So take that for what you will.
They would re-upload the entire VOD to YouTube with the same thumbnail, the same title, so that they could cannibalize traffic from the original video. Here's what Lamino had to say about this phenomenon.
I don't mind people reacting to my videos, but I do mind when they play the entirety of my video.
We're the top. We're not the bottom.
We're not even the top. We're like a fraction of the top.
Yeah, I mean, we take, we definitely have more cuts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A face cam in the corner or the occasional interruption does nothing to address that issue. My video is still being played from beginning to end in someone else's stream or video. It's neither ethical nor necessary to feature the entirety of someone else's work. Or, they could do the bare minimum and ask for permission. Something that none of the major reaction channels have ever done when they've streamed or re-uploaded my videos. But to answer your question, no, I don't want people to stream or re-upload the entirety of my videos.
Now, understandably, this made a lot of people angry, because why should these content thieves, essentially,
And I agree with that to a certain extent. I think if you post something up online, I think people should be able to react to it and make content about it. I think when you post it online, it's there. Now, what I don't agree with is like they showed Hassan playing on his phone, looking down and letting the video play, and then he just looks at chat occasionally and then says something. That I don't agree
Or
with.
he'll go to the bathroom, but then the video's still playing. I really definitely never was a fan of that either.
Yeah, the cherry acts. That's what they call it. Yeah.
Which is it's like, no, that does nothing. It's like, look, you're streaming for 8 hours on end with breaks, and understandably so, but like, you can do so much better than that. So much better, you know?
Yeah.
We're a small little podcast, and we're doing the absolute maximum effort. But then these streamers will get on 8 hours a day, and they'll just do the bare minimum.
And you look, we're at 21 minutes right now. You know, with our intro, we're at like a little bit over 20, and it's because we want to stop and make sure that we do things the right way, and make sure that we go ahead and
say our piece, say what we need to say,
exactly.
But not yeah. So,
all right.
But yeah, absolutely, I agree with you.
Get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening. I mean, people don't like injustice, and we all see this and know it's not right. This debate culminated when XQC, one of the prime suspects, called into my show to debate me, in which case I'm sad to report that I was terribly owned. So in that regard, do you care at all about like IP or copyright, or like the fact that it's illegal? Does that matter? That it might be illegal, does that matter to you?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if flat out doesn't, because...
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, and this is where it gets absolutely egregious. He starts doing the slug thing, and the slug thing is just it's insane.
Watch me full screen cam, do the fucking worm, then watch your prime. Then watch your prime content.
Do it for a week.
And that was his fucking chain that he was going ahead and flashing too.
Do a week of no reaction content and see how many fucking views you get. Sure. I mean, that's content.
Please mute it, Mitchell. I hated that. I hated that so much. Holy shit, was that awful.
We'll skip that. But there you go, Evan. There's one more view.
Shit. I feel like I was going to vomit. Holy God, that was terrible. My ears feel assaulted. Holy shit.
Yeah, and then I'm going to skip here. I have some timestamps here. So,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hit the wrong spot. So then he goes ahead and Ethan starts talking about chair reacts at this point right here.
Do not
oh yeah, baby! Look at that chair.
There he goes. He has to go to the bathroom.
Well, I've been seeing...
It's like, I get it, but it's the bathroom. You can do it before you stream, and you can do it with a commercial break. We don't need to see the fucking chair.
Well, the big issue is he doesn't pause. That's the big issue.
Right, and he doesn't pause. No, he doesn't. He actually mutes what he's watching, and then he'll talk over it, and then he'll go back, and then he'll watch it again, usually.
Yeah, but even then, just pause it. Like,
exactly.
It makes no sense. Also, in the back, let's remember, he has all these swords in the background, but iDubbbz just happened to pick the one sword that did have a sticker on it at the base of the sword. But don't worry, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks like a little dagger over there. 5. We'll say 4.5. 4.5 swords back there, but he just happened to get the one with the sticker. Weird.
Yeah.
And it was in this setting that I formulated an idea. What if...
And this is what I'm going to say. I never would have thought about this, but this is smart on Ethan's end because I think this is an absolutely incredible idea. Evan, I'm going to get your opinion. I want Ethan to explain it first.
Okay. He can explain it, but go on.
If I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published.
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video, it's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even better than I imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now the thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example, Denims sits here silently with nearly 50,000.
And this is where I want to get your opinion in a second here, but this is where I agree with Ethan. Like, yeah, we just kind of went a minute through, but we stop and we talk about it. Denims, Hassan, Frogan, a lot of them let their shit play for 30, 40 minutes, and they go, haha, let the video play, and then they're, I reacted to it, it was funny. Like, no, right. You can't just, haha. No, we need substance, we need context, we need a lot of different things. It's absolutely insane. But Evan, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, I get what he's trying to do. And to a degree, I can understand it, especially to create a video out of it. Because that is sort of a YouTuber mindset. Whatever gets clicks, whatever gets views, whatever kind of stunt I can create that can engage an audience, I'm going to do it regardless. However, and I'm sure this will be addressed later in the video, there's a difference between exercising your right to comment on these things and to say what you want to say in order to raise awareness about an issue, and doing that, but in addition to that, threatening to sue people. I just feel like it makes his overall mission more of a stunt, and not a stunt in the way that it's like, oh, this is a video, and oh, this is like, you're literally about to drag probably 3 people who, by the way, I don't watch any of their content. I don't want to watch any of their content. If they're as lazy as you're saying, Mitchell, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Right? But I would rather him talk about them and maybe dissuade some people from watching them than to raise awareness about this issue and actually put them in a lawsuit that could potentially bankrupt them. And that's just my perspective so far on what I'm understanding here.
So I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. I just want to make sure. So you're saying that you understand why Ethan's doing it, but I
understand why he's doing the video.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's suing them.
Okay. I just want to get
and I just think that's a bit egregious in it, and that's an overstep in my view.
Okay. I have a question for you about that. Do you think it was an overstep for people to get CPS called on his kids?
So, I have to look at that a little more closely. I know there were actually some issues. However, this is what I'll say. However,
okay,
nobody should be taking actions in real life that would threaten people's parents, swatting included. Okay. I think that's a bridge too far, and I do think that is an overstep.
Okay, so let me throw this at you. So we have her on the screen right here, Denims. She was on stream. I was on stream, same difference. She was making fun of it, and then she was going ahead and saying that it wasn't that big of a deal because kids can't form memories at young ages, which is not true. She literally searched it up, and then an article literally said, yeah, kids can form like memories at this age. And then she said, well, kids can't form. And it's like, you have the article right fucking there. You just read it. It said yes, and you're just going to say that it's no. She's not the biggest offender. I'll say that. I would say the biggest offender is Bad Empanada. And Bad Empanada is a guy that he's made jokes about the CPS calls. And like you said, and I want to reiterate what you're saying, I think when you go ahead and you bring the online stuff to real life, I think it's terrible. I don't think
it crosses a line that should not be crossed.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think people should be doxxed. I don't think CPS should be called. I think those things are 110% completely egregious. It shouldn't happen. And it's terrible when it does happen, because it's dumb. Leave the online stuff online, and just be a human being. I say this often, like, don't be a douchebag. You know, if something is wrong, don't do it. It's that simple. You know, I know that if I use certain verbiage, like if I was to go online and start saying the N-word, I know it's wrong. Therefore, guess what? I'm not going to go online and say the N-word. It's just keep it simple, stupid. You know it's wrong to lie. You know it's wrong to go ahead and involve someone's kids into a petty online beef. Don't fucking do it. It's just that simple. It's very cut and dry. Now, Denims, again, don't be cracking jokes about it. Don't lie blatantly after you read a fucking article that says, no, kids can form memories at that age. And you go, no, they can't. Who the fuck are you to go ahead and say there? Like, are you a doctor? Do you work in that field? Do you work in child psychology?
No, she's just a random person, obviously. Yeah.
Stupid Twitch thought that has no fucking idea what you're doing. You're a Hassan orbiter. That's what you are. You act like you're a lot better than what you are, but again, you're just a fucking stupid Twitch thought. I mean, Christ Almighty. But again, it is what it is. And
here's one more thing I'll just say before we really continue. If Ethan has a defamation of character case, I think he should have every right to sue them.
I think he does.
But the paradox or the contradiction with what's happening here is that this video, when presented in a court of law, will be used as evidence. And that could not really be in his favor. It could actually backfire, especially if they have good representation and they can prove that, in fact, they aren't stealing his content or whatever he's going to be arguing here.
So what he's going to be arguing is that when they watched, we'll play more of the clip in a second, and he explains what he wants to go after them for. But I'll say this: Denims doesn't have a case. Denims does not have a case. Because if Ethan wants to bring up a lot of those CPS stuff, she deleted those streams. And she deleted it right after Ethan Klein said, if you bring me to court, I'm going to sue you, and I'm going to sue you for this exactly. She deleted those streams. So that's technically destroying evidence. As Dave Chappelle once said,
fair enough.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha. No, for sure. But it's like, me personally, I would rather just sue them instead of making a video and then suing them. I just don't think it makes any sense really to put it out there and then just it's like a supervillain trying to elaborate on his evil plan. Like, why not just do it instead of saying it?
I'm going to push back on that.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to push back on that is because remember when the whole fair use thing first came out? Ethan Klein and his wife Hila, H3H3, they were the ones that went to court. I forget the guy whose name it was, but the guy said, you took my video, you criticized me, pay me $5,000 and take your video down.
Yeah, and I think I remember this, but I forgot his name too.
Yeah, but they won the case. And when they won the case, it was a big thing for YouTube. And to their credit, at that time, they were on top of the YouTube world. In a sense, everyone was like, thank you, H3H3. Bravo. You guys did such a wonderful thing. They got so much praise and so much credit for that. And I at the time I was younger, and I was like, hey, that's incredible. I can't believe they actually won that case. You know, great job to them. And
that was going on for
I think they're trying
years,
to do
wasn't it? I thought it was a few years.
I think it went on for like a year and a half. Almost two. But I think something like this is something that Ethan has also been pushing back on. And I like it because I think React content, like the way that we do it, where we stop, like we've been stopped now for probably 10 minutes talking about the stuff that we just saw. And that's what React content is about. It's about not necessarily just using someone else's content to make your own content. It's about giving your perspective on something. It's about creating dialogue or creating conversation. It's not about being a stupid fucking Twitch thought and just sitting there staring at a fucking screen. That's not what it's about. It's about actually making content. It's to me again, it's just absolutely egregious. I mean, just look at those fucking lifeless eyes. She looks like one of those dolls that she looks like a possessed doll in a movie where the doll's been passed on from like generation to generation. It just slaughters.
You're
children.
saying Annabelle. She basically looks like Annabelle, and I would agree with that, to be honest.
Yes. That's exactly what that's the vibes.
Yeah,
I'm
Annabelle
getting.
vibes for sure. Or even Megan,
Yeah.
like the robot that kills people.
Yeah.
I
I put that on my watch list recently. I heard good things
haven't
about
seen
it.
Megan,
All right,
but it looks campy, and I would be interested in
They
seeing
have
it.
a-
We
they
should
have
do a
a-
review of
they have a
Megan. That would
second.
be kind of fun. Anyway, so we'll see.
Thank you, Twitch Thought, for giving us an idea.
Giving us another idea for a video. Wonderful.
Let's jump back into it.
Live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership. She's working directly with the Snark subreddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer. Here's an excerpt from a stickied post from the Snark subreddit. Hey everyone, we've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for H3. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly or citing our post in their critique of H3. Here they're offering these streamers as market substitutes for my work. This is the cardinal sin of copyright infringement. The Snark subreddit has been a frequent and persistent infringer. That's how I knew when this video came out, the Snarkers were going to encourage, promote, and push streamers to commit copyright infringement. I should thank the Snarkers actually. Because of their predictability, they acted like double agents for us, incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter. So, thank you, Snark. It's one thing for a subreddit to admit it's engaging in copyright infringement, but how do you get the streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content?
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
It turns out they just...
Gotcha, bitch. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And this is the stuff here. This is the stuff here. It's play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And this is why I say for Ethan's case in this, I think he's 110% right to do this. I get frustrated for the content creators who go ahead and make hour-long videos, and then you see XQC or Hassan go ahead. So the video will be right off the top of my head. I'm just gonna make a number: hour 5 minutes 39 seconds. Oh, Hassan's reaction to it: an hour 8 minutes 32 seconds. You're not reacting to it then.
Right.
You're not. 3 minutes for an hour-long video, and that's not a reaction. Or XQC had one that it literally was 9 more seconds, and he just let the video play and goes, huh? Like DSP, huh? Like, it's insane, and that's why I support this battle.
Yeah.
Do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denims, the queen of self-owning, you prevail again. There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress. Some of you guys out there sweating? Even though...
Can he even do that? I don't think it's that as easy as just doing it with your lawyers, right? I mean, I don't think so.
Do I have a degree in...
No, obviously neither of us are qualified, but I'm just saying, me personally, I don't think it's as simple as submit this to the Library of Congress right now. Okay. I don't think it's that simple.
I don't think... So this is what I'll say. If this was Hassan saying it, I would say it's a lie. Legitimately, I would say he's just lying. He's lying and he's coping. Ethan is saying it. Honestly, I'm inclined to. Inclined. See that? Jot that down, Evan. Yeah. I'm inclined to believe him. I think he's telling the truth. I don't see why he's not the type of guy to just make a video like this just to make a video. I mean, he's been teasing the content nuke, but he wouldn't go ahead and I think that this was the thing that he was waiting for, because he said, oh, I'm waiting on some stuff, or he didn't say that exactly, I'm paraphrasing, but he did say there were some things that were in the works. And I think this, working with his lawyers, working with his staff, trying to get it to go through, I think that was the stuff that was in the works. I don't think it was him going ahead and re-recording him saying, "Are you sweating yet?" I don't think that was like the hard part. I think the hard part was getting it registered.
I think that would make sense. I mean, certainly getting anything registered in the Library of Congress is like one of the hardest things to do. Not impossible.
Evan, you're talking to a guy that ordered his license plates, and it's supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks. It took a year.
Long time. It's taken forever.
Yeah.
So
you know what's funny? One of my managers I worked with said, "Oh, you're gonna get on your 1 year anniversary." I said, "Shut up, man. That's not funny."
Get on it, RMV. Give him his license plates. God damn it.
Yeah. And every time I get pulled over, the cop's like, "Yeah, you know your license plate?" I was like, "Let me show you this funny email." And they're like, "Oh, wow, you ordered it?" I was like, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Don't be sorry. It's not your fault." Anyways, let's jump back into it.
Theoretically, I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
Well, guys,
and I think he's right about that. Again, like, I think for too long, a lot of these reactors have just been doing the bare minimum, and they've just been getting away with it. And there's like one guy in particular, internet historian. He makes such great content. I've seen so many people react to his content online, and he gets like millions of views. But I think he's a channel that legitimately should have more because of just how good his content is. He did a documentary about Fire Festival before Netflix did.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it was well done, and it's funny, it's comical, and again, you wouldn't know about it because there's probably someone that reacted to it and then took a lot of his viewership away.
Yeah.
But
so before we continue,
if you enjoyed,
before we continue,
no, go ahead.
I do think though that there is a slight double standard that Ethan had expressed just now, just a little bit.
Okay.
What I am saying is that like he's going after. Let me get the list here. He's going after Denims, Frogan, and Kaceytron, right? Kaceytron, yeah. So these are three, they're women, they're creators, they're streamers, whatever, right? But if you compare it to Hassan or XQC or even Asmongold, I mean, those three have way more combined followers and viewers as compared to these three, women. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be sued because they're women. Far from it. Regardless of any identity or any whatever, you should be sued for, whatever. Doesn't matter. But in this particular case, I just think that why these three specifically? Why not go after Hassan? Why not go after XQC? Why not go after some of the biggest streamers that are really, in many cases, some of the bigger offenders of this case that he's trying to bring on? And I think he gave away kind of the game a little bit. And I don't know. I just think that he should be reaching for the gold instead of kind of the silver that could maybe bring up some kind of a point about what's going on here, especially with copyright infringement and what's it? Anyway, yeah.
I think it's because these were probably the worst offenders.
Maybe, but Hassan is too. He's included in that, but he's not being sued for it.
Hassan didn't watch the video.
Well,
Well, he watched it with iDubbbz, and they actually reacted to it together. So he didn't watch it on his own, and he didn't chair react. He watched it with iDubbbz, and I don't even think he finished it, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Now, like he's showing in the clip here of Denims, and we will get to the other two where they just stop. Like they just don't like react. They just let it play.
Yeah.
So I think the way that Ethan Klein can go ahead and he can push this off is one, it's organized harassment because this is posted on H3 Snark, which is used to harass H3H3. So he could say it's targeted harassment. Two, they're breaking copyright law. It is my video. They're doing this. They're not reacting to it. They openly said on their H3 Snark Reddit, watch these people. He has clips of Denim saying that fucking shit. Like, oh, watch it here so you don't support H3H3. I think that's the main goal. I mean, he hook, line, and sinker right there, man. Like, that wasn't even 3. That was like 4 or 5 strikes. You got struck out almost twice. Christ. So, I mean, I think that's what it mostly is. I think it's just they were the 3 worst offenders, and also, I mean, he has a bone to pick with them. I'll say that too. With Denims and Frogan, Ethan's not gonna let them walk away all willy nilly. You know, he knows what they've done. He knows who they are, and he's gonna get back. I'll say that he's gonna get back at him, and yeah, it's just like I said before, they're just the worst offenders. But let's jump back into it.
Not giving any views to that terrible video. Follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
The state of reaction content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment. And with people like Hassan reacting to entire TV shows on stream, my fear is that Sony or Disney comes along, sues everybody, and sets a devastating precedent that could endanger our entire field. Now, before I tell you who the 3 people I'm suing are, I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific.
Now, one thing I want to say too, Evan, do you know who owns Twitch?
Oh God, I forgot what his name was. Hold on.
No, not the person, the company.
Oh, well, it's Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was going to be
Amazon
YouTube, but
owns
they lost
Twitch.
that bet.
Yeah, but so Amazon owns Prime.
Right.
Prime makes their own original series. They have their own original movies. They have all this original stuff. Why the hell is Amazon not using the assets? They let these idiots go out there, and most of it is the management at Twitch. They're just so dumb. But you have Prime. You have Amazon Prime. You can use Twitch as free marketing. Imagine if you were like, hey, Hassan, can you do us a favor? You know, you're on our platform. Okay, maybe it's not free marketing, but like you can go ahead and like work out something with maybe not Hassan because he'll be like pay me, but like maybe with smaller content creators. I would like, you know, work out with someone like that is like a mid-level guy. Be like, hey, we'll give you Amazon Prime for free. Can you just go ahead and just react to the first 2 episodes of The Boys on your stream? They play The Boys. They have a watch party. Everyone comes over and watches. Oh wow, that's a very interesting series. What is it on? Oh, it's on Prime. You can use my code Mitchie Poppy, and you can get 20% off your first month of Amazon Prime. Like, excuse me, hello?
Huh?
And they don't do that. It's absolutely crazy to me.
I agree.
Excuse me. And Ethan's right. Imagine if one of these days Denims, who clearly isn't that bright, goes ahead and just restreams Mulan.
The whole thing, too.
Yeah, the whole thing. And then she just sits there. Well, thanks for coming to my stream, guys, and not watching it on Disney Plus and supporting those evil people. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like and a subscribe. And if you want, you could throw Prime. Like, and then Disney just comes down with the ban hammer. Bam!
Yeah. Right.
Like, Like a lot of these Twitch streamers, man, they think they're untouchable. They think they're untouchable. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so in terms of Twitch, part of the reason why that this is because when Amazon acquired Twitch, there was some concerns that all of a sudden Amazon was going to put a bunch of ads. They were going to do a bunch of Amazon marketing and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And it was all going to be controlled by them because obviously, you know, there's all this consolidation of all of these major studios, all these major, you know, companies and that kind of thing. And so when Amazon came, it was actually kind of shocking at first to a lot of people. They're like, Amazon? Huh? What? So, and what happened was that their CEO, in addition to, you know, Amazon, they said, we are not going to touch Twitch. We are going to give them the funding. We are going to give them the resources that can have them do whatever they want in any way that they see fit. But we are not going to directly intervene in the creative decision making behind the Twitch platform, and we're not going to change drastically anything major. Now, I think there are some like you can connect your Prime account to your Twitch, and there's all kinds of other stuff like that. There's some cool things that they did add, but obviously, like you said, Amazon does not come out and tell their creators, hey, maybe you can give us a chance to promote some things and we can give something back to you and back to your audience. They're very hands off about it because they don't want to get mired in, you know, some kind of controversy with Twitch. Unfortunately, though, because of some of the things that these Twitch streamers have been able to get away with, look at the mess that a lot of people are getting into right now, especially with just saying whatever they want and some of the outlandish shit that's just being thrown out on Twitch.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's at some point. The guy that's in charge of Twitch right now, his name is Dan Clancy.
Dan Clancy.
At some point, a higher up, like Jeff Bezos, is going to come down and be like, get the fuck out.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen because I think that Amazon is being pressured a lot. And you know, there's stuff about a lot of what Amazon owns. Amazon owns the Washington Post, and there was a lot of controversies about some of the editorial decisions around it. There were all sorts of controversies with Amazon, and the fact that Amazon has really been hands-on on most of what they do and most of what they own, but they've been just hands off of Twitch. I think the ball is going to drop at some point, like you said.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's jump back into it.
High bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender, their identity, their political beliefs. All three are on this list. In fact, they're the only three, as far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video.
So there you go. He explains it. They reacted to the full video.
And, you know, fair enough.
Drum roll, please. Who's sweating at home, guys? Kaceytron, the queen of ripping farts and bong loads.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. I know. Are you being...
I've never heard of her.
Me neither.
But if this is her stream,
that's kind of fire though. In a way, you're just doing is watching a girl rip a bong while she's watching videos.
I don't understand it.
No,
like I mean this in the nicest ways. Kaceytron, just fucking do better. Like, holy shit. Like, how? I'm gonna Google it.
Smoke a little less doobies and start making interesting content, please.
So Kaceytron is 34 years old.
I don't even know what to say to that,
bro. If you're 34 and your claim to fame is that you rip fat bongs on fucking Twitch, like, fuck's sake, dude. Just you're not in high school anymore. You're 34 years of age. True. Grow the fuck up. Oh, dude, you want to see me go ahead and fucking rip this bong? Huh? Like you're like DSP with his sweaty JPEGs. Like both. Maybe you know what? When Cat's out of the picture, Kaceytron, I'm gonna put you on the DSP's bachelor list, and you can go hang out with him and his infested floors with his gout crystals. You can go ahead and put that in your fucking bong.
I will admit though, if you had two streamers and they were just ripping bongs, and they were just doing some of the funniest commentary you would ever hear, I would love to see that. But when you're ripping bongs alone and streaming alone, I mean, that's just kind of sad.
Yeah, I watched this earlier. Wait until you see how she reacts.
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
Frogan, who bless her soul, she's still rising.
Frogan is back-to-back Rising Star for Twitch. She won an award for Rising Star. Imagine that.
Interesting.
It's like winning Rookie of the Year in the NFL 2 years in a row. You know who's done that? No one, because you can only get the award once.
True.
What the fuck are we doing?
True.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom? Do I have permission?
Oh my lord.
Can I use the bathroom, please?
Oh my lord.
I'll leave it playing.
Come on.
So I watched. Okay. Oh, I gotta back it up 1 second.
I mean,
so
can't...
I watched the. You go first. I'll say that.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But you're asking your audience if she can go to the bathroom? Why do you need permission from your audience? Like, are you that desperate that you have to take directions from your chat in order to breathe, in order to shit, in order to pee? I don't know what's going on here anymore. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's just a joke. I think she's just.
I hope so, because if she meant that shit, I would be. My brain would explode across both the ends of my head. In Minecraft. Anyway.
But, by the way, so the Kino Casino, bro, Triple P said that she looks like Thomas the Tank Engine. Bro, when he said that, I was pissing myself laughing. I was like, no fucking way.
Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happened?
And Denims, the queen of self-owning. And my God, is she the queen of that?
She's so. I mean, from what we've gathered, oh, dude, Ethan. If they tell him you can only sue one, this is who it is. This is who he's going for.
You're gonna sue one person. It's definitely the Megan. Yeah, the Megan lookalike here.
Yeah, she's cooked. I love it.
Very obvious from the way that guy's talking. He's a sneak.
It's very obvious from the way that the guy's talking. He looks like this guy looks like a rapist.
Go fan.
Oh my God, bro! I love you. Can I give you a hug?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have said that they have been raped. The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
The sexual assault.
So, okay, this is I saw this and this pissed me off. This is one thing. So we've done some episodes now. We did some about video games. We've done some about some movie stuff. We've done a wide variety of content. Do we or do we not get articles?
We do research beforehand, but I am very guilty of not putting those articles in the description, and I apologize in advance. So,
well, you don't have to put the articles into the description. We don't have to put our.
We definitely do our shit beforehand. We definitely make sure that we are we are at the very least knowledgeable of what we're saying. Yes.
And sometimes when we live stream it, we pull the fucking articles up.
And we have. You're right. You are correct. We have been pulling up articles, especially talking about video games and stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah, like we pull the fucking articles up, and then this bitch. I'm gonna play it one more time.
I love you. Can I give you a hug?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
We're gonna listen to it one more time.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have said that they have been raped. The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
You can go look at them. I'm gonna talk about it. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but guess who has to do the research? Not me presenting the information. No, fuck you, the viewer. You go look.
Look for it.
That's not how this works. Imagine if the New York Times went and said, "Oh, the Red Sox played the Yankees today. What was the score? I don't know. You go fucking look it up."
Exactly.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why should I do my job? You should Google it yourself.
Yeah, like there was a tragedy in South Dakota today. What happened? Oh, you don't have Google, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And by the way,
by
the opposite side of that, there are too many people who ask stupid fucking questions that they could be Googling. Now that's different than what this is, obviously. But people, if you have Google, if you don't know anything, if you're just stupid, you should read a book and maybe look at something and find the information. But don't just say, "Oh, gee, I wonder, I wonder what time it is," or, "Oh, I wonder like what this thing is. Like what was this history, this event in history?" Google it. Find out. Don't just ask me. Cuz you should be using your brain.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be using your brain for you. Anyway, sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, and this is extremely fitting. She is a fucking dunce.
Yeah.
The sexual assault I experienced should never happen to any human being.
This Yemeni kid is just a Yemeni kid with a gun.
So literally, a lady who was a victim comes out and says that, and then
And is not a Houthi, and there is no proof of him being a Houthi.
Are you a soldier?
wait,
A Houthi.
Are you a soldier?
are you a soldier? Yes. Denims, don't say things if you don't have evidence.
Yes. Well, that seems pretty
Just don't say
definitive.
anything
He never
because you're
said
not even
Hassan
adding
Nasrallah
value
was a-
to it.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't know something, I'm not like, depending on like what the situation is. Like, if you were to ask me, like, oh, what were the sales for Call of Duty World War II?
Yeah.
I could probably tell you, like, hey, it's Call of Duty. It's gonna sell fairly well compared to most games throughout the year. But if I compare it to other Call of Duties, it's probably not going to sell as well as, let's say, Modern Warfare 2 2009 or the new Modern Warfare 2. I can tell you that. I can give you information based off of my knowledge of the field. I can tell you that.
Yes.
But I'm not going to sit there and say, it sold 20 million units. Like, I don't know. The fuck?
Yeah.
But
Good guy.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the fun part. Let's take a look at the complaints. And let's start with my favorite of the three, the very own, the prestigious, the highly acclaimed, the highly analytical Kaceytron.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein.
so, like, she just rips, like, fat bongs the whole time. And Ethan puts here at 10:15 full smoke clips. Bruh. Commentary. Bro. She spent more time smoking than commentating.
That's ridiculous.
And look at the commentary. 15 minutes on an hour and I think it said 43 in the other clip. She spent 3 minutes and 15 seconds more smoking.
Oh my god.
And Ethan here also talks about how she talks about it.
18 minutes and 55 seconds of smoking. She spent 3 minutes and 15 seconds longer smoking than she did talking in her quote-unquote reaction. And whatever talking she did was just to express how confused she was, presumably from smoking 42 times.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
The complaint continues.
She's lost the plot.
He's lost it.
You
I'm
lost
too
it.
high to know what the plot is.
Yeah, you fucking lost what planet you were on, you fucking moron.
Indeed, Kaceytron is often too obliterated to comment on the nuke, and
That's
instead
in the
stares
filing. That's
blankly at a
incredible,
computer
by the
screen.
way.
In a span of 2 hours and 7 minutes, Kaceytron smokes marijuana, frequently in highly concentrated forms through vaporizers, on 42 separate occasions. At one point, Kaceytron is so wasted that she states, quote, "What is happening? I'm trying to follow, but I've lost the plot." To give you an idea, the majority of her commentary comes down to this.
Just that. And this is why this is what I'm gonna say. To Kaceytron, to Denims, to Frogan, they're fucked.
Yeah.
They're fucked. Like you saw.
By the way, shout out to the judicial clerks who are going to have to read that out loud for the record, because they have read probably some of the most heinous, some of the most terrible, and really just like godless, cases, right?
Yeah.
But then to look at that and goes, oh my God, we have really. Okay, well, go ahead, but I'm like reading, it's like, and they have to read it out loud. They have to do it. Like they got to read it to the judge, and the judge is like, oh my fucking Lord.
Like, I gotta actually, like, you expect me to actually fucking read this? Like, yeah.
Oh my fucking God, people are so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. Ethan clearly, he worked with a lawyer. Obviously, and like I stated before, I didn't think he was gonna lie about that. I thought that he was gonna, like, if he says it, he's 100% honest about it, and he's got everything. They have timestamps, they got clips, and if you don't think, like, Ethan has his production team, and he treats his employees well. I'll say this: I don't remember a time when there's ever been someone that's left H3H3 pissed off at Ethan.
Yeah, true.
I can't remember it. I've seen like people leave Logan Paul's podcast and say fuck him.
Absolutely.
I've never
that's
seen.
True. And a lot of the same people have stayed. Some of them have left, but many of the OGs have stayed for a long time.
And the people that leave, they often go into a completely different career path. Yeah.
Or like in the case of AB, he's also a streamer and he does his own streams as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's but you never hear anyone saying, "Oh yeah, I worked with H3H3." Fuck you, Ethan. Like, you never hear that.
I don't understand this bit that he's doing.
But that's what she does the whole time. Here we go, 36.
They do musicals.
That's a 34-year-old woman.
Just repping it up. What quality entertainment this is. Highest quality entertainment you will ever see on the internet, folks.
Part that really got her sued.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein.
Cooked right there. Bam. Hook, line, sinker.
Yeah.
And then get there.
Long loads. At least try to engage with the content. Whoa, what was that? Oh, sorry. That was a
Rising
flying star. It almost caught me. You know her and you love her, guys. Frogan. Reaction by exiting. Here she is getting up to leave the video running as she steps out of the room. Is that transformative? I guess the judge will decide. She said, quote, "It's time to watch the new Nuke ethically. Hell yeah." Huh. Very smart to say on camera, by the way. She said, quote, "Thank you guys."
Dude, the fucking documents. I fucking love the fact that Ethan has the documents like this. Like, oh my God, dude.
This is a lot of work. I will give him credit where credit is due as well. This is a lot of work.
I have a theory about at the end. I want to go over and I want to get your opinion on it, but I'm going to wait till the very end.
Okay.
Guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. Well, you are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy that day. Her commentary is so non-existent that even her own fans begin to call her out.
I don't have anything to say, dude, because he's cycling the same fucking points over and over again. What more commentary do you need on him repeating the same fucking points for the whole out first?
Okay, you're not repeating the same fucking points over and over. You are reacting to what's happening on the stream. Ethan doesn't make the same point over and over in this content, Nuke. He brings up various different situations that Hassan was wrong in, or that he felt like he was wronged in, and situations that he wronged him being Ethan.
Right.
And so that's what you're supposed to be commentating on. If you can't follow along, maybe you have a learning disability. Maybe you have ADHD. Maybe that's the problem.
I don't know.
Or maybe
you have a problem. I don't know.
Maybe you won the Rising Star twice and you fucking didn't deserve it. Because who the fuck wins NBA Rookie of the Year, NFL Rookie of the Year 2 times in a row? Nobody's ever fucking done it, Frogan. Fucking idiot.
First hour 1 minute and 32 seconds. It's been the same shit over and over again. This video could have been condensed into 20 fucking minutes. Like, what commentary do you want me to add by, like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, he's
literally
mentally
doing
ill,
what she's
and he's
accusing
having a
Ethan
mental
of
breakdown
doing,
and uploaded it to fucking
right?
YouTube?
Like,
Like, can you make at least
words
one good
over
point?
and over and
What do you
over
want me to make
and
a point on?
And
Yeah.
like, you're literally proving his point just by not saying exactly, not saying words in a coherent way, in an interesting way, and just being like, oh, well, he's doing this and he's accusing me. And, it's like you're literally caught in his trap. You literally just proved his point.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I forgot. She also said, can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing. You may use the bathroom, Frogan, although I don't advise it.
Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
This into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and...
Oh, my God.
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What
And they were
happens?
fucking talking about
But you just pause it. That's it. You just pause the video, right? Like, you get up and you go to the bathroom, you just pause it.
That's simple.
We're busting our ass. We're busting our ass building an audience. We're still a small podcast, but we're doing the work. And she's, meanwhile, trying to have her audience do her job for her. No.
Yeah.
That shit ain't gonna fly. Not
Evan,
today, not in my house.
Evan, can you do me a favor?
No.
What's the time of this video? How much time is there?
I think we have 6 minutes.
No. I'm saying what's the total for the video?
Oh, 20 minutes, 29 seconds.
Evan, we've been
20 minutes, 29 seconds. Yeah.
We've been on for an hour and 12 minutes now, because we actually give you content. This is what it is. It's not hard, people. Like, come on. There's people that work in the
It ain't rocket science, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, there's people that work in the coal mines. All right, back in.
Exactly.
They should be watching for you. But if you get up to go to the bathroom and they keep watching my video, they're clearly not watching for you, right? As lazy and pathetic as her reaction is, this is not why she's getting sued. This is.
Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. First time viewer, time to watch the nuke ethically? Hell yeah. I found my way from Reddit. Hi guys, welcome Reddit people. Reddit people. I came from the HP Snark Reddit. Ethan is so pathetic while his son is in Japan. I'm bothered, having a great time. Exactly. We're gonna watch it live, yes. He doesn't want people to know when it's dropping because we're all watching through other streamers. And I suggest you all watch it through other people as well.
It's the stated malicious intent to steal. They talk about watching ethically, but I learned not to steal when I was 5. Up next is Denims.
And again.
And honestly, just take a look at this, guys. It's a nightmare on Denim Street. Not only did she chair react, but she was kind enough to write her name right at the top just so that we knew that she was stealing my content and it was her room and nobody else's. Judge, did you know that we're on Denim Street right now? Here's some quotes from Denims. We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the nuke views. Yeah, I'm going to stream it since he's confirmed it's coming out today. I'm going to stream it.
That is crazy that's even a real quote.
Yeah. Again, she's by far the dumbest. Like
Absolutely.
She's an idiot. The other one, Alinity. I don't even know what the hell she's doing anymore.
I don't know who she is.
PewDiePie called her a stupid Twitch thought, and she actually copyright struck his video because he called her a stupid Twitch thought, and he didn't steal any content.
That's so lame.
Yeah, and then but she was like, "Oh, it was my manager," but yet she got on the phone. She's like, "Oh, he called me a Twitch thought." And then she got on her phone and texted her manager to take the video down. And she even said, "I'm getting that video taken down." And then when everyone backlashed on her, she was like, "Well, it was my manager, guys. It wasn't me." And it was like, "Yeah, but you called the hit." Like, the fuck? Like, imagine you get married and then your wife calls a hitman on you and then you get killed and the police were like, "We know that you called the hitman." Yeah, but I didn't fucking shoot him. Fucking stupid. Like, sometimes I feel like I kind of like over explain, but like you have to. I mean, look in the background on that monitor. Like, Denims just looks fucking dense. Like, you know what's in that head right now? It's a fucking woodpecker. That's it.
The only thing going for her is she has big expressive eyes. That is literally it. Everything else about her is not bright at all.
I heard that she has an OnlyFans or something, so she probably does that.
Of course she does, and I'm not going to say anything more than that. But you know, you can read between. Google it. Just Google it. You can look it up yourselves.
is very explicit. Denim said, quote, "Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, give me a follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like my content." Your content? The Queen of Self-Own included a countdown timer so we could tell exactly how long she was away. After being gone for a few minutes, she returns and then sits silently for another couple of minutes eating.
I'm gonna go pee, and hopefully, when I'm back, they're done with this.
When I'm back, she literally self-incriminated herself. Again, worse than Frogan. It's like, God, this is, and he is really, I mean, he's doing a good job. He's really doing a good job of proving his case here. It's very good. I will give him that. I don't like him. I don't like Ethan, but I got to give credit where credit is due.
Yep, and then just a couple of things I want to go over. I skipped ahead because, again, he shows that she was gone for a while.
Yeah.
Own never disappoints.
I want to be clear on my opinion on like filler content and stuff. Like, I think filler content, like, you shouldn't do it. I know I do it as a React streamer, and I try to do it only when I do it with like Vox videos or Vice videos and stuff like that, because at least I'm not like directly ripping from one content creator and not like.
Doesn't matter who you do it to. You got to treat everyone, big or small, with the same amount of respect. We did the Rockstar Games trailer, and we did a lot of stops because we wanted to make sure that we used copyright. Like, we didn't break the copyright, rather.
Didn't break the copyright, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we were within fair use.
Yeah. We didn't, it's, sometimes it kind of, I feel like we talk a little bit too much, but we have to, because we don't want to break copyright. We want to provide content. We want to make things. And sometimes you have to go ahead and you have to stop and you have to talk a whole bunch. And sometimes it's just filler nonsense. We were pointing out body size in the GTA trailer, but we had to do it to fill time. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I want to actually, before we
whole
continue,
team and
I want to
stuff?
get just a little behind the scenes to some people. When we did WrestleMania, we covered a lot. And we did cover, we watched a lot of clips. We did a lot of things. That's within the norm. Our video was blocked by YouTube. And the reason why was because we covered Joe Hendry at length. And we didn't cover it enough where we could show it. So they said, okay, you're fine. But if you want your video to be seen, you got to take out this portion. I looked through the video, and it's a deleted scene now. But I was able to edit it out. Everything was fine. The video is up, and whatever. But that's the name of the game.
Yeah, and to be fair, like we were kind of like in the middle of it. Like, we were over an hour in there, and then we were kind of both tired, and we kind of just let the clip play of Joe Hendry getting his ass beat by Randy Orton. So that was on us. If we had thrown some context in there, if us talking or saying some stuff, I think it probably would have been fine. But like,
we had commentary for that segment, but it wasn't long, and it wasn't long enough, and we weren't talking enough to justify it.
That's what I'm saying.
It was just us watching the clip.
Yeah, exactly. But it is what it is. It happens.
It is what it is, and we're learning as we go here. But unlike these people, they will learn nothing.
That, my friend, is called theft, and you're a thief, and now I'm suing you. This is just a testimony to how brazen and how safe they've, gotten. That she thinks she can go out in public on video and say shit like, I'm stealing this content because I want to. I'm coping even though I know it's stealing. When people watch it with me, they're definitely not going to go watch the original. Like, you are way too comfortable committing crimes out in the open. Well, there you have it. 3 separate lawsuits for 3 separate...
So he corrected himself, civil offense.
Right.
Geniuses. Now, I want to make it clear again, and I hope it's been obvious about why I'm suing these 3 people and not others. These people not only violated all of the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously. And that's the part that really got me. I think if you're a reactor on Twitch, for the most part, if you make a good faith effort to comment, and if you make a good faith effort to promote the author, to link to them, to try to drive traffic to the original video, I think you're probably pretty much doing the right thing, and that's fine. And I would never sue someone for that. Take it to these 3 absolute morons to state their intention to steal my property on video.
Again, he kind of just reiterates the same exact thing. We'll play it still, but I mean, yeah, but what we're doing, we're playing the content. We let it play out sometimes, but then we stop and we go. Again, this is a 20-minute, 29-second video. We are at an hour, 20 minutes, almost 21 minutes now, and we've talked for every minute. Mathematically, for every minute that there was, we talked 3 minutes. So we've added content.
That's just math. Math be math.
Yeah. So I mean, but we're gonna talk about this in a second. I'll let Ethan finish, and I got a couple of theories on some things.
To all the detractors who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement, I just have this to say. I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great time.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's all I got to say about that last point.
Yeah, I mean, he cooked. He cooked.
I don't care.
Yeah. And I got another person that would like to also go ahead and to speak on the matter. So let's get him in here.
Uh-oh.
You like this player? Wow, he's so good, right? He really outplayed me. Go fuck your mother. All you did was fucking projectile spam online and lag, and I can't get around it because I'm the worst character. Fuck you, you suck. You fucking suck.
I had to do it.
That was beautiful.
I just had to do it.
Wow.
We had to play at least one DSP clip.
Yes.
Okay. So two things. Is there anything you want to throw in there first before I go ahead and I throw out a couple of theories?
Oh, anything for me?
Yeah.
So, to Ethan's credit, like I said, I think he laid out his case pretty well. And I've definitely seen people disagree with his takes. I actually kind of absorbed those people's takes. But, I think he laid it out pretty clearly. And even if people disagree with it, I don't think there's any disputing that he could definitely... Like me personally, again, I think having the video itself is... I don't know. It's a little 50-50 for me, right?
Okay.
But the actual tactic and the point that he's trying to get with it, I think is legitimate, especially about fair use and especially about... So I think the video itself, well done. Brilliant.
Okay. So
that's all I can really say about it. But the last part was kind of beautiful, and it really stuck it because there are going to be some people on the left who... they're going to play identity politics and they're going to do this and that. And I kind of did have some of those points a little bit, but I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to take it and move on. That's all I can do. Just take it and move on.
So one thing that I will say is Ethan has always been very transparent with his audience. So I think that's why he made the video. I think he's again always been very transparent. I think that's why he did that. I don't think he did and I think this is calculated. Again, he's a very calculated guy. He's not an idiot. He knows how to work this, and he has a legal team with him. So he's not going to make a video without talking to his legal team. But I think this is very calculated for the simple fact that he wants to go ahead and he wants to be open and honest with his fans. He wants to express where he's coming from, and just from that, just going from there. So two things. One, Frogan, Denims, and Miss Mary Jane, Kaceytron, they don't stand a chance against Ethan. Frogan is always constantly complaining about she goes DSP where I need that money. I really do. I need that money. I got to pay my rent. That's what she does. Kaceytron is not on this planet, and then Denims is a dumbass. Denims also. I don't know if you know this. Denims also started a GoFundMe to sue Ethan because she claimed defamation because he was going ahead and saying Denims was making fun of the CPS call, which she was, and she deleted the fucking videos. Why would you delete the videos if there was nothing wrong with it? And Ethan was like, "Listen, you could sue me. If you sue me, I'm gonna win the fucking court case." And she started a GoFundMe. She got $30,000. I think it might have even gone up to 50. at one point, and she was trying to get 150,000. So she got a third of the money, and it was absolutely insane. So I'll say this: I think their orbiters, their fans are going to try to support them very much so. But if they're on their own, they're fucked. If they're on their own, they're fucked. So this is where the second thing I want to mention: Hassan's going to get involved.
Absolutely.
110%.
I don't think there's any doubt about this.
Hassan's going to get involved.
And I think there's going to be more people involved too.
I think so, yes, but I think Hassan's going to be the biggest player in all of this. And I think with Hassan, he's got to be careful because there are people now, they're mentioning him on the news. They're mentioning him he's been doing all this stuff, and he's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. If he goes into a courthouse, they might fucking throw the net on him, and then they get a possible because he's getting more radical. He's saying more crazy stuff. That head is still super small, and that just can't stand. And there's gonna be a point where he's gonna there's gonna be someone that does something, and if they find a link to Hassan, he will go to fucking prison. That I can guarantee. I think he will go to prison. I genuinely believe that. I'm not saying that because I want someone to go to prison. I'm not. This is just my feelings on the matter. He says things to people and he tries to radicalize them. He was just at the protests and the riots in LA where they were setting cars on fire, and he was like, "Oh, these are my fans." What the fuck? Why the fuck would you say that on stream? That makes no you fucking idiot. Saying
it doesn't make him look bad. I'll just say this: it does make him look bad. There's no question.
Yeah.
But he has to. But in order for a case against him to actually go into play, there has to be evidence that he directly incited some form of violence and encouraged people to burn cars, whatever.
So
as far as I'm concerned, I do not see any evidence of him doing this. So I don't think there would be a criminal investigation of any kind with any legitimacy.
I agree, but I also disagree. Where I agree with you is yes, he's never outright said those exact words. I agree with that. But what he has done is he has said, go out there and protest. Go out there and do this. He never goes ahead and he never says to do these exact things. He will use again, he's very smart with his verbiage. Don't be deceived.
Yeah,
he'll go ahead and he'll tweet out a handmade handgun to some senator's tweet. He does shit like that. He does little fucking shafty things like that because he knows how to get around the system. But at some point,
he still says shit that frankly is provocative and is quite frankly unacceptable. But there's no criminal case against those words because there is no criminal intent behind it. But there's no question. There's no question about that. So
there's no criminal intent until someone says, I was inspired by Hassan Piker. The day that happens, he's fucked. He's royally fucked.
I do agree with that. And that again, is what you said earlier. So
and again, he's going to get involved with this, and he's going to do very similar to when Anissa and iDubbbz for their charity boxing event, which was not charity because they're fucking rats themselves. For their dog shit event, he helped raise $200,000 for charity. He's gonna go on to excuse me. He's gonna go on to live stream now, trying to get money for lawyers for these people, and he's not gonna use a single cent from him. He's not gonna donate any of his money. He's gonna ask his fans for money to donate. And Ethan's gonna make fun of him for it, and he's gonna get all pissy and he's gonna bitch about it. But Ethan has money to blow. He has the evidence. And do you think that they're gonna hire some lawyer who's gonna go ahead and just be working on their own? You think Denims is gonna work hard to find evidence? Do you think Frogan's gonna find fucking evidence? Do you think Kaceytron's gonna put down the bong for more than 10 fucking seconds to help find anything? The only thing she's gonna try to find is her fucking lighter. Let's get that clear. and again, one more point here. Again, it's just Ethan's going to win this. He's going to win this 110% because
he has a very good case. I agree with
he has a great case, but it's not just the case. He has his production team. Ethan's out for blood. He's hungry for it. So he has himself, he has his production team behind it, and he's got his legal team. Ethan definitely, again, he's working with a legal team. They're already behind the 8 ball on this one, where they're gonna go ahead and try to get some ragtag team of lawyers. They're gonna try to get the best lawyers that money can buy, and they're gonna try to fight a case that is just an uphill battle. Hey Frogan, why'd you delete those live streams? No reason. Oh, no reason? And then Ethan could be like, oh, I got those live streams actually. Someone re-uploaded them. Boom. Cooked. Done. That's it. Oh, so you deleted evidence. Case loss. I'm not like Ethan. I think Ethan now, I think he has changed. I'm not the biggest Ethan fan. I listen to the podcast once in a while. It depends on who's on there. I don't really typically listen to it. I haven't listened to it in the past couple of years. I've only been listening recently because this whole situation, I feel like we need to report on it. And it's crazy. It's absolute insanity. Everything that has happened, but this is going to spiral, and this is going to go on for, I'm going to say for 2 years. It's going to go on for some time. And this is going to be a major issue. And Mr. Smallhead here, I think the end is near for him as far as his Twitch career. I said this to people. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I've said this to other people. Hassan's career ends in 3 ways: prison, Amazon steps up. Amazon steps up, and he's going to say something about someone, and then word's going to get to Amazon, and they're going to say, "Hey, Dan Clancy, get the fuck out or shut it the fuck down." And Hassan's going to be banned. And when he gets banned on one platform, guess what? The others fall in line. He can't just, I'm going to go to fucking YouTube. No, YouTube's going to be like, nah, bro, you out. Twitch said you're not cool. You're out. You're not going to come here.
It's true, though, because that's what happened with Alex Jones. Once Alex Jones got banned from from a lot of these platforms and losing money, all he could do was go on his own website. Now, obviously, Alex Jones is very different than Hassan, right? He's a conspiracy theorist. He's a Looney Tune. I got the globalists and all that.
I think what Alex Jones is to the right is what Hassan is to the left.
You could argue that. That's all I will say is you could definitely argue it. You could argue it. Now, some people may not agree with you, but you could definitely argue it.
Yeah.
But to the point I was trying to say was that he had a very serious, and I mean really, really serious thing happen to him, which was that, he accused families of the Sandy Hook parents of having faking, fake actors and faking their deaths, and that is one of the grossest, most horrible things you could ever accuse somebody of doing. And guess what? They dead ass. He said, they're all actors. They're faking it. They're still alive. Whatever.
Did that happen when we were in high school, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that being on the news, and he was like, "They're faking." It's terrible, but
disgusting. Disgusting. He is a piece of shit, no doubt about it. But basically, and we could do a whole episode about him, but I'll just quickly say that because of the insurmountable evidence of damages to the parents of the Sandy Hook, victims, they awarded the parents like sum of $2 billion collectively, and because of that, he owed the courts a lot of money, and he had to force to liquidate InfoWars. That is what happens when you have a platform and you say what you want to say, but you're not going to say what you're going to say without consequence. And it took them over a decade, Mitchell, to get this settled. And there's still, and I mean, it's a multi-layered, complicated, very nuanced case. You know, there's financial law, there's legal stuff, there's whatever. But at the end of the day, they had a very strong case. And they said that the words that Alex Jones said, physically, legally, I mean, they were threatened, all this horrible stuff. So, you know, this is what's going to happen. Now, this is not nearly as serious, but it still brings up a point about fair use, because people get caught up in fair use and people get caught up in all this stuff all the time, right? It's not to say that there's still plenty of things that are unfair about it. I just would say that, you know, there are some stupid people out there doing stupid things on Twitch and other platforms. And what's been happening is that people are getting cracked down for some pretty bad shit. Denims is the worst offender. Casey Moon, she's just a stoner, but I would argue she's a part of the problem as well.
Kaceytron.
Kaceytron, excuse me, Casey Moon. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, well, she's over the moon. Let's just say that she's over the fucking moon. But that besides the point, Kaceytron is probably the worst offender. Denims is the biggest offender in terms of what has been going on with Ethan. So I think that it's worth pursuing for those reasons. But there are other issues. Like, for example, there are people who you know, they try to live stream about things that are going on in the news. They may be live streaming about things that are happening as they're watching it. What could happen if a lawsuit like this could affect those kinds of streamers? You know, it kind of opens up it opens up a great opportunity to clamp down on bad actors, but it could also at the same time backfire at people who are actually intentionally trying to put out good content at the same time. I would just say, look, do whatever you need to do, but we kind of need to really look at the fine details of this before we really go gung-ho and say, hell yeah, let's go get it, because there could be it's a double-edged sword they call it a double-edged sword for a reason. And I think that this case could open up a lot of things that could potentially backfire, but I think it's admirable because you do want to make sure that people's, you know, content are protected and not exploited through all these other, you know, channels and people that just want to steal your content.
Absolutely. But you know, again, just to reiterate, Hassan's definitely going to get involved, and this is going to be something that lasts for, I wouldn't say 2 years. I think this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing for a little while now. But I think that pretty much wraps it up. Is there anything else that you want to say, Evan?
No, I would just say, Kaceytron, put down the bong, Frogan, get a brain, and Denims, please just quit.
Just shut the fuck up.
Just shut up and quit.
Yeah.
Just shut up and quit, please. I just trash. Just trash.
Dog shit. But yeah, that's been it, everyone. From both of us here on Internet Uncapped. Have a good one, everyone. Have a good one, everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Subscribe, hit a bell, punch a donkey, kick a baby. Go up to Spotify. Go to Apple Podcasts. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Do whatever you need to do, but don't rip bongs. Don't do it. And don't be like Denims. Don't have big eyes like Denims. Don't do it.
If you don't hit like and you don't hit subscribe, Denims is going to come over and talk to you about everything she likes.
Don't want that.
So,
don't want that.
You don't want that. Yeah, do it. So, but hey, that's been it, everyone. Until next time, peace out.